we have a bit of an update on the whole Rockstar drama that's going on. So last week, a whole bunch of people, like 30 to 40 people, got fired from Rockstar because Rockstar claiming they were they said they were trying to unionize, right? And they were doing it through Discord meetings. And then Rockstar fired them. They said no, it's because they're leaking information. Now, as far as I know, this so-called claimed leak information has not popped up anywhere. But the same day that they claimed that was also just maybe coincidentally, maybe connected, happened to be the same day that GTA 6 was officially delayed for like another 6 months. And then that brings us to this. And this is like a bit of a two-parter. Let's actually start with this one here. Someone on GTA forums found the Stratus, I can't pronounce this, the CEO of
Strauss Zelnick.
Thank you. The CEO of Take-Two is currently in the midst of an alleged court case regarding alleged sexual harassment and fraud, and the case is currently ongoing. There are also various documents on the site detailing defenders' opposition, ruling and motions, etc. Also, note that legally speaking, until a full ruling is issued, Stratus is deemed innocent. So yeah, there's quite a bit going on with this whole situation here. And look, there's all this shit. So yeah, there's something in there. But then that also brings us to this. So after GTA Redemption developer Rockstar fired 30 to 40 employees, the studio was accused of union busting by independent workers of the union Great Britain. Rockstar denied the accusations through a spokesperson and maintained that these employees had leaked information on a public forum. Again, as far as I know, that so-called leaked information has not surfaced anywhere. The chapter of the story saw an anonymous employee of the award-winning game development studio write a lengthy post on GTA forums, the biggest public forum dedicated to the series of the best-selling open-world video game. This poster's identity was allegedly verified by a moderator on the GTA forums. In the post, the employee claims that the fired workers were particularly ambushed by the HR department, which called them over for a quick chat and then handed termination letters accusing them of misconduct related to the Discord discussions, but provided no evidence or further details about the supposed offense. Those physically present were reportedly forced out within minutes. Others who were not at the office received a brisk phone call for less than 2 minutes and were notified that they would receive their aforementioned letter. Some of them were sick, even recovering from surgery or on family leave, and the sudden termination leaves them financially vulnerable. That's kind of what happens when you get fired, yes. The anonymous employee adds that Rockstar fired critical staff such as leads, artists, designers, programmers, and producers, many of whom have had long tenures and clean records at the studio. Moreover, he counters the official statement, clarifying the Discord channel in question was strictly for employee and union discussions about working conditions, not for game leaks. All of those who got terminated were union members. The timing, the employee says, was clearly aimed at sabotaging union recognition, just as the union group had reached the size needed to initiate a formal negotiations for better pay and working conditions. Yeah, spicy shit. It just keeps getting better. The post concludes that a warning that if Rockstar gets away with this, it may do again without facing any repercussions. The employee also urges fans to support the fired workers by making donations via the Action Network. Instead of doing that, you guys should shed super chats and memberships over here. Gronking costs $20,000 a month to run, by the way. The controversy airs the same week that brought us to yesterday when Rockstar announced the second delay for the game. Yeah. So it just keeps getting fucking more and more full on, doesn't it? Cremo. Oh, I can see you bursting.
Okay. No matter how you break this down, this is really bad for Rockstar. This is really bad. Like, let's look at the Strauss Zelnick stuff. Again, innocent until proven guilty. We will have to see how this turns out. Strauss Zelnick is obviously the head of Take-Two, which is the parent company of Rockstar and 2K and a couple others. He's a big executive in the gaming industry. So the fact that this is going on, this is a bigger deal than I would argue the Bungie stuff was. Bungie is a smaller studio. We'll see how it turns out, but the fraud thing is a little bit more connected to, I guess, the Rockstar stuff, maybe. But again, it's kind of its own separate thing here. with the Rockstar stuff, it's bad. It's really bad. Like there's no good way of doing this, right? Um, like first off, they fired these people, right? Now, if these people were fully a part of a union, you have to have a union rep present when somebody gets fired who's a part of a union, at least up here in Canada. And the rules on unions are very, very similar in the UK. And those were the only two countries affected. So everybody who was quoting US law to basically say this is bullshit, it does not apply. You're talking about two different jurisdictions, both having very, very, very almost identical labor laws. So if there was no union rep present when they were fired, they could be in serious trouble. Obviously, there's so much they're basically banking on the fact of they were all, everyone had gross misconduct, and also they just all happened by coincidence to be part of a union that we don't want. I don't know who's going to buy that. I like that. There's nothing that I could glean from that would make any sense. Like, is it possible? Yes, it is. And anything's possible. But what's more likely? A bunch of people, 30 odd people, right? They're all in a Discord. They all happen to be union members. And they all happen to be doing misconduct. And you fire them all the same day? Or are you trying to tamper with unions because they have the ability now to go and start a union because they've hit that threshold? Now that they're fired, they can't hit that threshold, which means it delays it possibly completely. I mean, if people don't care enough to form a union afterwards, completely. I'm not a big fan of unions, but this is like really fucking bad. This is like really, really bad. And again, you're not allowed to tamper with unions for very good reasons. I mean, back in the day when people were starting to form unions, there was union busting, and usually it was like physical, we're going to go beat the shit out of one of our employees at his home at night type of thing. And because of that, government's brought in very strict laws saying you can't fucking do that. If your workers want to unionize, they have the right to do that. You can't stand in their way. My thing also is, if all of these people are deciding to leak something now, but they all had super clean records and were longtime employees of the company, I would look inward and be like, what changed? Why are now all these people who were like star employees and higher ups in the company now leaking shit out? That makes me think too. No matter what, this looks bad for Rockstar. One is really, really bad, and one is just a little bit bad. But either way, not good. And Tittles there has a point, I guess. I don't know what he said.
That's not Tittles, that's Titties.
Oh, I thought it said Tittles. Whoops.
But yeah, interesting times, and I find it difficult to believe that this is somehow not connected to the 6-month delay, especially when you look at this and you just see how much is in here. Now, just quick question for everyone in the chat as well. How many people actually knew this court case was ongoing? Because this seems like it's gone. I had no fucking idea. This seems like it's gone. Yeah, this seems like it's gone very, very under the radar, that they've done their best to really keep this fucking quiet, that this is actually happening. And it's been going like, dude, what was the actual date? It was
August of last year.
Yeah. So it's been going for over 12 months, man. And it's still fucking going. There's a lot here, man. So to any autist out there that wants to read, you got a fucking shit that you can read through, man. First I've ever heard of this. And they've done a good job at keeping it quiet.
And by the way, he's done a couple interviews since, like, and not like small interviews. Like, yeah, he's done a couple like shill YouTube interviews, but he's been on like CNBC during like this, like the opening bell of the stock market, and nobody looked into, like, that's a bit concerning too, that he was able to kind of hide this for so long. I know not everyone is just looking for legal documents like that, but holy shit, I would have figured we would have heard something.
Especially after the first delay. After that big first delay, you think people would have gone and looked.
And it's only just now because of the Rockstar stuff that they're looking around and finding stuff. So how much else will you find?
Ooh, I
It's
can't wait
also very interesting that we're hearing a lot more of Dan Houser speaking lately.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Interesting times ahead.